Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with RomWills. You never know who you inspire. You never know. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. Just walking down the street, you never know who you inspire. Just doing your thing, holding your head up, being happy, working hard, just working on whatever your life path is, expressing your talents. You never know who you inspire. You know, there's two stories, and I've told these before. Like, I remember way back when I was in college, freshman in college, decades ago. It was in the 1980s. And I remember there was this young man who, when I look back on it, he might have been on the spectrum. He might have been on the spectrum. I'm saying might. If he wasn't, he wasn't. But I remember I was a freshman in college, St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia. And he was somebody who worked in the cafeteria. And I never forget what he said to me. He said, you know, I always see you with books in your hand. Now we on a college campus, of course I'm going to have books. And maybe he saw me with some other books, but he said because he saw me with books, he started picking up some books and looking at different books and magazines and stuff. I inspired him to expand his mind. And not even doing anything special, not even like being conscious of it. I'm just having books. Plus I like to read anyway. Anyway, so that was one person. But then I remember in more recent years, I was at a self-improvement summit in Atlanta. Shout out C Boogie for giving them. And this was, you know, it was interesting. It was when I was actually going to stop doing these Sunday videos. I don't get a lot of people who watch them. And I was going to say, you know what, I'm going to give this up. But then at the self-improvement summit in Atlanta, I met these two twins. And, you know, if y'all watching, shout yourselves out. But they were saying that one of my Sunday videos actually helped them through something. Actually inspired them. And I was like, oh, wow. That's why I still do them. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't get as many views on these Sunday videos as I might on one of my weekday videos. But I inspired these two young men. So what I said, you know what, I'm going to keep going. Because you never know. You never know. You never know who, maybe you might just be wearing a suit. Let me give another story. My step-grandfather, may he rest in peace. I remember I was living with my step-grandfather and my grandmother. You know, this was in the early 1970s. And I remember he used to work as a security guard at the Pentagon. Now, I didn't know. I just saw a uniform. I thought he was a regular police officer. But he would just sometimes, he was big on ironing. He had owned cleaners at one time. So he was big on ironing his clothes and having a perfect crease. And I remember I would just sit in there and he would just straighten out his crease. And I would just be sitting there watching him. And he knew it. He didn't say anything. He said, this is how you straighten out the crease. He would be straighten out his crease, straighten out and stuff. And he knew I was paying attention. And to this day, I'm really big on ironing clothes. I'm really big on it. I mean, shoot, I always say it, if this don't work out, if I got to do one of those little small hustles, I'll be like, hey, I'll iron your shirts for you. But, you know, he knew he was inspiring me. He didn't say anything. He knew I was watching him. You know what, though? You never know. You never know what you're doing. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be walking your dog. It could be just keeping your place clean. I'll give you another one. I remember I was working in a bad section of D.C. at the time anyway. I think it's gentrified now, but At the time, it was a bad section of DC. And I was part of a crew that was just cleaning up around there. This was a summer job. But there was one woman who had a house that had flowers. It looked nice. It was like an oasis. And I wonder, who did she inspire? Who did she inspire? You know what? You don't know what you're doing. If you're doing a good thing, you don't know who's watching you. All communication isn't verbal. They might not say, it might be somebody, like you might be in a neighborhood just going to work every day and somebody see you. It could be you working hard on your job, somebody see you. So they see you working hard, they're gonna work hard. You never know. That's one thing. If you're doing the right thing, I think a saying is the best sermon is an example. The best sermon is an example. Are you setting an example out there? Now, you might not talk to people. You might not do videos like this. You might not stand in front of people and say, hey, this is what you have to do. But just being the good person that you are, that could be a great example. And I'm thinking about several people I've known over the years who they were just doing their thing, but somebody else would see them. Somebody might see you doing your thing. You might be working, doing the right thing, and they might get their lives together just because they saw you doing it. You never know. You really never know who you're inspiring. So, I would just say you still want to do the right thing. You still want to be your best version of yourself for yourself. But you might be helping somebody else. They might just see you. They might just see you on a day doing something. You could be dressed up. You could be walking with your head high. You could be doing some hard work someplace. You could be on a job inspiring some people. I remember, I'll give you another story. I remember I was working on this job and had this guy. He was 70 years old. And we had a bunch of young people. He outworked all of us. We're all in our 20s and late teens, and this 70-year-old guy outworked us. I remember we joked with him too. We say, yeah, you probably tearing your wife up, right? And he said, yeah, and sometimes he'll tell her to call a friend to help out. But we were inspired by him. And he wasn't telling us, hey, this is what y'all need to do. In fact, he never gave us advice like that. We would just see him work. So that inspired us to work harder. And some of the young people on the job, let's just say they came from bad areas, but they were inspired by this person. And this person, this elder, he, like I said, he would just work hard. He wouldn't tell us, hey, this is what y'all need to do. He would just shoot the breeze. If he talked to us, he would just shoot the breeze. But he was inspiring people. You never know. You never know. Going through life, you just want to be out there. You want to be that example. You want to be that sermon that is an example. Because you never know, all right? I want y'all to think about that. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Keep rising to become the best version of yourself, all right? Peace and blessings.